The Lydian mode has a floaty, dreamlike brightness that is elevated beyond the standard major scale. This particular sound isn't used a lot in pop or rock, instead being found in film scores and soundtracks. But Lydian has a big problem, which will lead many songwriters to question, is the Lydian mode actually worth using? In this video, I'll show you the chords that can be included in Lydian progressions, what the issue with Lydian is, and whether you should bother with using the Lydian mode in your songs. Let's dive in. Lydian is a simple mode to understand. Just think of it as a major scale with a raised fourth. For example, C major has the notes C, D, E, F, G, A and B. So C Lydian has the notes C, D, E, F sharp, A and B. To give you a feel for the sound of this interesting scale, I'll play the C major chord on piano and play the C Lydian notes over the top on the guitar. Pay particular attention when I hang out on the augmented fourth note, F sharp. Listen to how tense this tritone sounds, as it wants to resolve up to the fifth or down to the third. Using these Lydian notes, we can create a group of 7 chords, which can be used to create progressions with. This is known as the Lydian tonality, which functions in a similar way to a major or minor key, which you may have heard of. Here are the chords in the C Lydian tonality, with the notes that go into each chord. 1 C major, 2 D major, 3 E minor, sharp 4 F sharp diminished, 5 G major, 6 A minor and 7 B minor. So C Lydian is good for guitar players because it has a lot of chords that can be played as simple open chords. It's also the most common Lydian tonality. You can see that compared to the major key, we have 4 chords the same and 3 chords which are different. Of these 3 chords, the focus of Lydian progressions is on the 2 and the 7 chords. And of these, 2 is the most popular choice. Playing it next to the 1 chord creates a floaty, ethereal feeling, which is unique to Lydian. Have a listen to it in this C Lydian example. The other Lydian chord, minor 7, has an interesting detached sound to it. Have a listen to this when paired with the 1 chord. You can also play the 1 chord as a major 7th in Lydian to add to the smooth floatiness. Here's an example of this in C Lydian. If you're working with modes for the first time, then it's easy to become confused and to lose interest. That's exactly why I send a free weekly newsletter to thousands of guitarists, breaking down songwriting concepts in a clear and practical way that will keep you motivated. If you want to write better songs with more confidence, then head to writeonguitar.com or click the link in the description to sign up today. As I highlighted at the beginning of this video, Lydian has a big problem. It is harmonically unstable. Our ears are seeking out the relative minor and major keys, which are seemingly just beyond reach. In reality, they are found with the 3 and 5 chords. You can hear how strong this pull is if I bring in one of these chords to the strictly Lydian 1 to 2 progression. First up, I'll use the major 5 chord G major. Listen to the uplifting bright relief that G major brings. It stamps its authority instantly, so when we return to C, it no longer sounds like the tonic chord. It instead feels like we are in the key of G major. In a similar fashion, if we play the 3 chord E minor, it steals the limelight and pulls us into feeling like we are in the E natural minor key. Here's how that sounds. In these situations, some people might dispute whether you are even in Lydian. For example, C-D-C-D-G could be written as 1-2-1-2-5 in C Lydian, or more commonly as 4-5-4-5-1 in G major. So should you even bother with using Lydian if it just shoves us somewhere else? Well, as we noted early on, it does have an interesting ethereal sound that is quite unlike anything else. So what many songwriters do is use Lydian for short sections of a song to inject a bit of ambiguity before moving on. This is like the Phrygian mode. If you want to learn more about Phrygian, I'll link a video at the end of this one. The main way to do this is to write in major and borrow across the legendary major 2 chord from Lydian. Look at this 1-5-6 progression in the key of C major. Typically this sort of progression is rounded out with the 4 chord, but if we borrow across our newfound Lydian major 2 chord, it adds an uplifting brightness to the end of the sequence. Just be mindful of what notes you sing or play over the top of this chord as it brings in the raised 4th whilst it is heard. Have a listen to both versions now to appreciate the difference. We've seen the problems with the Lydian mode, but what can we do with our chord progressions to overcome this? Well, the easiest thing to do is to not use the 3 and 5 chords. This will avoid the use of the 5th note in the scale, apart from in the tonic 1 chord. But assuming that you want to use a wider range of chords, what else can you do? You can use the tonic note as a pedal note that is played as the lowest note in every chord. This will utilise inverted chords and other slash chords. This will constantly drive the ear back to the tonic of Lydian, and not allow it to stray so easily elsewhere. If you're playing in a band situation, you could get the bass player to constantly come back to the tonic note over all the chords in order to create a similar effect. So is the Lydian mode actually worth using? Absolutely, but if you don't know what you're doing, then your songs will sound like they are all over the place. This is true of another mode, which is used more than Lydian, Phrygian. Watch the video on screen to learn how Phrygian chords can be used to transform minor key progressions.